There's a lie every runner tells themselves at some point. That training is training, that miles are miles, that if you put in the work will hold up, no matter where you take it. Trail running doesn't read paper, it reads elevation, it reads terrain, it reads how your body responds when the ground stops being predictable and the air stops being familiar. Jeremiah trained hard that summer. Treadmills, flat coastal trails, discipline that looked, on paper, like more than enough. But somewhere past 30 kilometers, on a mountain in Utah that didn't care how many miles he'd logged, his body told him the truth his training couldn't. Some things can't be simulated, only earned, on the terrain itself.
Sorry for making you wait, D.
Hey, no, sorry, what are you talking about?
Oh.
You're crushing it, you're in there. How we doing?
My quads blew up at 25K.
Uphill?
The downhills, and I rolled my ankle like 4 times.
How's it feeling? Fatigue or pain?
Just kind of ignoring it.
Okay.
He didn't finish that day, not because he lacked the will, because the mountain asked a question his preparation hadn't answered yet.
For the first Speedgoat, I felt like I was ready, kind of being a naive and never been to mountains like that before and terrain like that before. I still thought I was ready because of the other races that I've done. I've done a couple mountain races leading up to that, and this was definitely on another level. I was not ready. It humbled me. My preparation, it wasn't specific enough. And I had to have this conversation with myself. My coach helped me have this conversation with myself. Do you expect to be successful in the mountains when you don't consistently train in the mountains? Do you expect to be good at high altitude races when you live at sea level? Do you expect to be good at climbing when you're doing a majority of your climbing on a treadmill? Yes, you could get through it, but can you be good at it?
So the next year became about answering it, not with more miles, with the right ones. Elevation, technical trail, the unglamorous, unrelenting work of training for the exact thing that had beaten him.
For the second time, I was way more specific. Weeks and weeks before the second crack at Speedgoat, 10 weeks before, I was already doing high elevation, high climbing, added to my training, trying to find more technical terrain, technical trails around my local area. Everything was way more specific to mountain training. The first Speedgoat actually started off pretty strong and conservative. I got to the top of the first climb in a good amount of time. I was telling my crew I was conserving myself, and then on the first downhill, I ended up spraining my ankle. And again, I wasn't used to running on that type of terrain, so I was very uncomfortable running, sprained my ankle 3 times at least. And from there was a fight, so I was moving slower from aid station to aid station. I only had 2 bottles on me. I was going through everything before I was getting to the next aid station. In turn, I was getting into a little deficit, falling behind, especially on the sodium and hydration. After the second tough climb that I was fighting for my life on, I just started cramping on the second descent, and then they had a big climb up the tunnel where you're literally climbing a wall. That's when I was like, there's no way I could get off this mountain safely. I can't even stand up straight without my legs cramping. I was too depleted. I'm very grateful that I felt like this, but I had a lot of grace on myself when I DNF'd that, because again, it's like, what are we willing to sacrifice in order to finish this race? And though I do sacrifice a ton when it comes into the preparation, if it's not your day, it's not your day. Like, nothing is guaranteed on race day. That was a big lesson I learned that day, is no matter how prepared you can be, no matter how well trained you are, things will happen. And at that point, I'm like, there's no way I could safely get down this mountain on my own. I'm not gonna risk that. There's way too much on the line outside of this, so.
A year later, he went back. Same mountain, different preparation. And when the ground turned unpredictable again, and the air turned thin again, his body already knew what to do.
At the start line, it was, yeah, as I get through this race and use it as almost a training rehearsal for CCC. I have some incredible coaches who are so experienced, so we decided to use Speedgoat, and it's gonna sound crazy, as a training run, as a training weekend. So my goal wasn't to get a great time at it, to rank at it, it was to just complete the race, knowing that I was going to have to train the next day as well. A lot different than last year, baby. One thing that I've learned in throwing myself into the deep end of these big races is you can't look at the race as a whole, you have to look at the race as segments. So throughout the whole race, I'm like, okay, so for Speedgoat, I went out with the elites and I tried to hang with the elites just to get used to running hard that first kilometer or two and using the climb to settle into my pacing. And I did that for Speedgoat. And then once I got through the first climb, I'm like, okay, now can you descend safely without rolling your ankle like the first time? So I took it segment by segment.
He finished, not because he trained harder, because he finally trained true.
This is a Maestre from Mont Beach. Vision with a good smile.
Crossing that finish line, it felt amazing, but somehow in the back of my mind, I knew I was going to cross that finish line because I knew what to expect. I did all the preparation, and if I didn't cross that finish line that day, it would have been for good reason. It would have been meant to be that I shouldn't be crossing this finish line that day. And so when I crossed it, I was relieved, yes, but I knew I had what it took to cross that finish line. I'm proud of myself. I conquered my fears today. So that was an extremely hard course that exposes all my weaknesses, and every time I pulled up to something I was weak at, whether it's a technical downhill or the altitude, in my head I'm like, conquer your fears and go for it. So it was a great race. I'm very grateful. Conquer your fears. Failing Speedgoat the first time, I was afraid of that race. I was afraid of that terrain versus going out and doing different style races or never going back to that race. I just went head first back into it. Took it to the little extreme, and I found out that I was not good at mountainous races. In turn, it scared me to do mountainous races. So what do? I signed up for more mountainous races, and the toughest mountainous races I could find. I think that's the theme of the story, because at the end of the day, I do want to represent in this sport. I want to represent myself, obviously, my country, where I'm from, the people that support me, and I feel that I have to go through the things that I'm afraid of in order to be an example of that.
The journey doesn't end at a finish line. There's still work to be done. Consistency got him here. It's the only thing that gets him through what's next. The CCC at UTMB, 100 kilometers across the Mont Blanc massif, through 3 countries, over 20,000 feet of climbing, one of the hardest courses in the sport, and the next test on the way to something bigger.